All right, so for the last two problems, 25 and 26, it says find the equation of AB. Well, in the previous problem, we already found that the slope of AB was negative 4 over 5. All right, and then we have to use the point. So we can use either the point of A or the point of B. I'm going to use the point 5, 0, which is point A. And I'm going to call this x1, and this is y1. All right, so then to find the equation, I have slope and a point, so I'm going to use that famous equation, mx minus x1 equals y minus y1. M is negative 4/5. X minus 5 equals y minus 0. So now you distribute this here and this here. So it'll be negative 4 over 5x. It's going to become positive 4. And I don't have anything to add or subtract from the y, so I can just rewrite that as y. So that would be the equation of line AB. And then for number 26, this is what we learned just recently. The last thing we learned, find the perpendicular bisector of the line segment with endpoints 4, negative 4, which is here, and 6, 8. Fortunately, on your test, it will work out. So I'm just going to add a line here. There we go. All right. Now, find the equation, so ultimately we know where we're going to end up. But the first thing we have to do is find the slope. So m equals, this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So it's negative 8 minus negative 4, which is plus 4. And then it's 6 minus 4 on the bottom. So this is negative 4 over 2, which is negative 2. So my slope is negative 2. Then I got to find the perpendicular slope, which is positive 1/2. Okay, so now this is what I'm going to use as my slope. Now I got to find the midpoint, which is x plus x divided by 2, y plus y divided by 2. So this is 4 plus 6 divided by 2, negative 4 plus negative 8 divided by 2. So this is 5. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Negative 4 plus negative 8 is negative 12. So it's 5, negative 6. And this becomes x1, y1. And let's check it. I'm going to graph this point. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right here. Oh, that makes sense. That's my midpoint. Now I'm going to plug it into my formula. M x minus x1 equals y minus y1. M is 1/2. X minus 5 equals y plus 6. 1/2 x. Now 1/2 of negative 5 is negative 2.5. So you subtract 6. 1/2 x equals, minus 8.5 equals y. when you graph this, you should notice that it will hit about -8.5. All right. If you're in first or fourth period, you can stop the video. If you're in honors, we're going to continue on because your test requires a little bit more out of you. So another thing is you have to be able to prove complementary angles. So please remember that complementary angles mean that they add up to 90 degrees, okay? So if we're going to do a proof with complementary angles, we have to understand that they're going to add to. This is our first introduction to a proof, and you're only going to have to prove complementary angles on the test. So let's go ahead and get started so that you can kind of see how they work. So basically, you're going to start with your given statement, which is that TV is perpendicular. So remember this symbol means perpendicular. And we need to give reasons for why these things are occurring so that we can finally prove that angle 1 is complementary to angle 2. All right, so how is this done? Well, to go ahead and get started, the first thing we know is that this is our given statement. You're always going to start with your given statement. All right, the next thing we know then is that the whole angle here, okay, the whole angle makes a right angle. So we can now say that TVK is a right angle, and this is the definition of perpendicular. Definition of perpendicular lines, okay? So now that we know it's a right angle, we can now say that TVK is 90 degrees. And we can say that because of the definition of right angle. And now that we know that it's a 90-degree angle, we now know that angle 1 plus angle 2 is going to equal angle TVK. And this is the angle addition postulate. Part plus part equals whole. So remember, part plus part equals whole. Well, now we know that our whole is going to be 90 degrees. So because I know that TVK is 90, I can now substitute 90 in for TVK. So I can say angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90 degrees. And that's because I substituted. So we'd say substitution. So basically, when you take the test, you're going to have to know these steps. And then angle 1 is complementary to angle 2. Well, that's the definition of complementary angles. They add up to 90 degrees. Definition of complementary. So now we've proved complementary angles. All right. So once again, we can try this again. Same situation, and you're going to have the same 6, except this time what's a little bit different is your given. So your given is here. So when you do a proof, you're going to start with your givens on one side and your reasons on the other. I'm sorry, this shouldn't be given. This should say statements. Okay, so number 1, angle TVK is right. So this is given. So now we don't have to go, we don't have an extra step. So now we can say angle TVK is 90 degrees, and that's definition of right angle. All right, now that we've defined that it's 90 degrees, we can say that angle 1 plus angle 2 equals angle TVK, and this is angle addition postulate. Now that we've done that, we can now substitute. This is substitution. And lastly, we can now say that angle 1 is comp angle 2, and this is definition of complementary angles. Now, let's say you wanted to do it for a straight angle, so you could do the same thing. You would put your statements on the side, and your reason on this side. So it's going to be the same thing, except instead of 90, it's going to be 180. So ABC is straight. This is given. So now for statement 2, I can say ABC is 180, and this is definition of straight angle. Now I can say that angle 1 plus angle 2 is going to equal angle ABC, and this is angle addition. Now I can say that angle 1 and angle 2 are going to equal 180, and that's because of substitution. And then finally, I can say angle 1 is supplementary to angle 2, and that's because of the definition of supplementary angles. So it's the same thing. It's just using 180 degrees instead of 90, and there it is. They did theirs a little differently. So this would be equally correct as well. All right, good luck studying for the test. Please remember that the test is when we return. If we're out, it's either Thursday or when we return from snow days.